On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for, again, for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. In a case like this, cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 interviews, 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI, and we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions. And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Let's be clear. The FBI didn't really do anything. He was.
Thank you.
He confessed to his
Good
dad,
morning.
and his dad turned him in.
I would just like
That's
to
what
take a
happened.
few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire.
Oh, that's
There's no violence.
Because a white person was killed.
There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend, an author Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret these engravings on the case?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
This
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor,
Yeah,
you
please.
indicated that you have been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe you acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
Can you detail at all, how he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, go here.
What's up, brother?
I can't share any more than what I've already.
What up, party people?
So how we obtained the gun was found here. Yeah, so I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
So he drove his car back.
I'm sorry.
He climbed off the roof and drove his car back home.
We don't
Did I
have
get
any
that right,
information
Jeremy?
that would lead us to
What it
believe
sounds
that.
like.
Yes, in
Frozen-
fact, it's
frozen a
already.
little bit, I
It
think.
was just released. Yes.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
We I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here.
That's bad.
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is what kind of watershed, and that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a
This is
dark
true.
chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? We've look. I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now.
Did they really say
I would
that?
encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community.
Thank you, Methos, over
There
on
are
Rumble.
That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight. Last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there.
I'm so much older than him.
But this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
What up, Az?
What up?
The release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m. the timeline that Director Patel gave us led to the arrest at 10 p.m. Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier?
See it, Gary.
Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes, yes. So, so when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes. Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I would just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that basically we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
All right. So,
Monday.
yeah. Well, there's a lot there. Ultimately, look, I'm happy that he's caught. That's the bottom line. Very happy about that. But yeah, I mean, the FBI, based on the information we have, the FBI, it's not so much about how much they did as much as the dad turned him in. So from what we understand, the 22-year-old kid, confessed to his dad, and then his dad turned him in, which, big shout out to the dad. We do have this right here. So this is his mugshot right here. And there's going to be a lot made of this. I feel like narratives are going to be twisted for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But what are your thoughts, Gary?
What little I know, I mean, before I jumped on here, I saw the Daily Mail article where they're just going over Facebook photos, and his parents look pretty fucking normal. I see the narrative of, like, you send your kid to school and it radicalizes them. Not entirely against that narrative, by the way. And he just looked like kind of a normal, shy kid. And there was reports that the writing on the bullets was erroneous, but they definitely said fascist on one. And I heard them reading it off right now. Yeah, it's too early for me to say. I could get totally conspiratorial. I already saw the chat mention that the 33rd hour, they made sure to bring up the 33rd hour. That's going to get the internet talking.
Oh yeah, you think? No way. But here we have right here. You want to talk about how something like this happens? Let me show you a clip from CNN with Destiny.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn, but he's very, very strategically minded.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's a Satan spawn. Aired on CNN, said by Destiny.
Yep.
That's the type of stuff that gets into people's heads when you constantly are saying that someone is the devil, that they are Hitler, that they are evil.
Nazi. Yep.
You've essentially
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think
taken any ability to view them as a human being away, and that's what's been done over and over and over again. So yeah, if you look through it, I mean, this is like, that's the dad. I think that's the dad and the son, like this is just a normal dad. This is a normal family. So
did he go to school? Did he go down the hypothetical, Destiny, Hassan highway? Was it just his professors? I don't know these things. He could just be crazy. But as pointed out, Destiny is called for genocide on the right.
Yep.
There's the clip out there of Hassan just calling for violence all the time. And honestly, at this point, it's Charlie Kirk's murder is going to create a conversation about, like, how the country, finally people are going to have to stare themselves in the face on the left and see how they've demonized people for the last 10 years in this country. It doesn't really matter what happens from here. That, like, this conversation has needed to be had for a decade. We're going on 9 fucking years, Jeremy, of this shit.
Yeah.
And we've gotten used to it. We've even gotten used to it. We're like, they call us a Nazi again, blah, blah, blah. But now somebody's dead. And somebody will be dead in the future, unfortunately, because of this too. Because you're dehumanizing people. And you got an Adderalled up Destiny, and I don't want to make excuses for him. I think he's fucking retarded on Adderall or off Adderall, but he's still a person out there, and he's still talking shit today. And it's good that we hear from these people, by the way. We don't want to censor them. We want to hear from them. I want to hear this stupid conversation. But like when you're airing it on CNN, and how many times we heard, Jeremy, you platform this person. This person's getting platformed.
Yep.
And it's coming from people like CNN.
Yep. Every time.
Fuck them.
Yep. Because, I mean, this is the definition of platforming right here. And Destiny said he hates Charlie Kirk and that he thinks he's a Satan spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I'm just using their own logic against them at this point in time, because that's what I like to do. Thank you to Jay for welcome to the Rebellion podcast for the raid. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Jay. Jay, I know you're getting ready for daily, but you can hop on here if you want it for a minute. But yeah, it's I don't like where we're heading. I don't like it at all. I have not been able to sleep very well the last couple of days with this, man. That the image of what happened to Charlie Kirk is just like I can't get it out of my head. I hate it. And it feels like with the celebrations going on social media, it just shows you, man, that like mental health is a huge problem, and the mainstream media has created a lot of really unhinged people that really can't separate, fantasy from reality at this point in time. And I think that this situation with this person is kind of a classic example. I mean, I obviously want to know more about this, but I mean, if I'm seeing, like, if I'm walking into a restaurant and I see these two sitting there, I'm not concerned.
Nope.
I'm not worried. So what's up, Jay? How you doing, brother?
Hey,
What up, Jay?
I'm not gonna say long. I have daily, but I did want to tell the both of you, after listening to that press conference, I don't know what you guys thought of the freaking governor telling people to go touch grass and that social media is a cancer. That bothered me, and because if it wasn't for social media, the mainstream media would be flipping this thing all over and blaming white people and MAGA supporters and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So as bad as social media can be, it was good. It has its uses. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say something nice about y'all too, then I'm going to leave. I appreciate you guys and always speaking, always talking, always sharing, and being the voice for a group of people that are nerds like myself, that are into pop culture, but being the voice for all of us when the rest of the world was trying to shut us up and tell us that we're not important and that we're the problem and that we're this and that we're that. So I appreciate you guys, man. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. You guys don't get enough credit. You never get enough credit. And I know you guys hate when people say nice things. So I'm going to call you all a bunch of bitches and be out.
Later, Jay.
Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Shout out to the Welcome to the Rebellion podcast. He does that every morning. He's crushing it over there. So, so I don't like that the FBI tried to take credit for this when they did nothing. They literally, like, it's just that it was let's pat ourselves on the back. They did say we want to thank the public and all that, but it's like, you didn't do anything. The guy confessed to his dad. The dad being a stand-up guy.
The guy drove home.
Yeah.
He got in his car and drove home. Surveillance camera, freaking satellites everywhere. We could triangulate all kinds of shit. And guy got in his car and drove home.
Yeah, I didn't like that, and I didn't like how this was about grandstanding. I felt like
Dude, it felt like at a fucking award show.
it
I was
felt
getting
like that.
frustrated.
It felt
with
like
that.
he
I'm
was.
like,
It felt like he was campaigning. It felt like he was
Yeah.
campaigning. He's like, "This
Yeah.
is my moment. I've got all the eyes on me. This is my moment to be a legend. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to get tears in my eyes. I'm going to talk passionately." It just felt. I didn't like that entire press conference. None of that press conference worked for me. None of it.
no.
It fell
Just
flat.
give me the details, and and that's it, you know. And it's because there isn't many details right now. We don't know, and we're gonna speculate here, and we're gonna get shit wrong. That's part of this, but at least we're gonna try to tell you the truth as we hear it when we get actual facts. And do we get any from the legacy media? I like what Jay brought up though. Is like we need, you streaming, everybody streaming this right now. It's important because the legacy media has been spinning a narrative for a long time. And usually the market takes care of itself. Jeremy, we've heard this a long time. The market takes care of itself. People will stop watching, people will stop spending. You have to realize that CNN, MSNBC, all these news agencies, they haven't, especially on broadcast, they haven't been making a ton of money, and a lot of this stuff has been falsely propped up. And it's been falsely propped up and pumped into airports and gyms and shit like that for years and years, where their ratings haven't been super spectacular. And you're wondering, how do these things still go on? Well, it's very important for the narrative for these things to go on, right?
Yep.
And now we're starting to see the apparatus fall apart. MSNBC is breaking off to MSNBC now, and who knows? I mean, it could be nothing, but if Paramount actually does buy Warner Brothers, what happens to CNN at that point? Because they can't. I don't think they can have CNN and CBS. But we're seeing these apparatuses fall apart, and they should. And they should, because they've been lying to us all along. And they have been creating this divisiveness, and they built a divisive narrative over a decade. And we talked about it on your live stream through scripted entertainment, through all information we've seen. And we now know for a fact there were 3-letter agencies involved in these companies helping spin that narrative and deny people of their rights. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening right now. It's still happening now. You don't think there's 3-letter agents? And by the way, Trump's in charge. He's not in charge of the fucking CIA. He could put somebody in charge of the CIA, but the State Department, the deep state, is in charge of itself right now. And he's up against that still, and will be his entire presidency.
I want to show this really quick since Jay mentioned it. This is the comment that Jay was referencing right here.
Yeah.
Viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community.
Hey guys, thank you for helping us do our job for us through social media, but also social media is a cancer and you should log off. Like, how do you get to there? Hey guys, thank you for spreading the word on social media. Thank you for tweeting. Thank you for doing this, that, and the other. Also, by the way, get off social media. Like, I mean, I get the point, but it's like, this is grandstanding bullshit is my point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't disagree with the sentiment that to say like every now and then kind of disconnect a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
I don't disagree with that, but it feels like grandstanding from this guy is what it does. Especially Kash Patel literally is the FBI director because of social fucking media.
Yep.
He's a big fucking social media guy. Crazy, man. This was a bad press conference. This was a bad press conference last night when they delayed it. Remember, they delayed it for hours and hours and hours just to tell us, yeah, we don't really have anything. So
yeah.
What?
And then it's I laugh because it's absurd. It's a very sad situation. But
awful.
And then a fucking dad has got to turn in his own son.
Yeah,
horrifying.
Man. That's one of the because there's many tragedies with this thing. Obviously, Charlie Kirk's family, his close friends, all of that. It's terrible. And you seemingly have what appears to be a decent family setting here, and this dad did the right thing. Now, someone jokingly in the chat said he was just looking for the 100K. I mean, again, we're all it's always good to make jokes.
That's the chat.
You love the chat. And I probably did laugh at that at some point in time, and I shouldn't have, but yeah, people like, oh, he's being too insensitive. But I saw that and I'm like, that's pretty damn funny, actually. But it's bad, man. And there's got to be more transparency. The Trump administration is always talking about the most transparent administration in history, all this, and I think they have been very transparent in a lot of different ways. But this entire scenario, the way that this has been handled has not landed well with me at all to this point. So, and I do think major sweeping changes are, I don't know what the effects are going to be moving forward, but I think that you're definitely going to see some major shifts going on with how things are handled. Like, for instance, I think Twitch, a lot of people point to Reddit and they point to, Discord. I think Twitch is a huge fucking problem. Massive problem. If I got on Twitch and said literally what I've said today, I would be banned on Twitch. Yet Hassan can go over there and say all the shit that he says. Why is that? And what have I said? What have I said today, but that would get me banned? You know what I mean? I haven't said anything bad, but if I said it on Twitch, I would be banned. But Hassan gets to tell his 50, 60,000 live concurrent viewers every day the same shit that Destiny said. I don't know if Destiny's still on Twitch. I don't know where he streams. Where does he stream? Chat. Where does he stream? And
Kick? No. Was
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And it's not so much that people like Hassan say the things that they say. It's not about that. That's bad enough, and I get that. It's the fact that Twitch doesn't allow anyone else to say anything that goes against that. So you are creating a singular message that people are consuming. It's not about words as much as it's about them strategically taking away the ability for anyone else to have anything to counter what is being said. That's where the danger lies. Because I'm all for people having as much free speech as humanly possible. You can't threat, you can't dox, all that shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you take another person's ability away to counter what is being said, that is where danger enters the equation right there. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
Well, I mean, like, it's buried in the news now, but we started the last week with a comedian in the UK getting arrested for jokes.
Yep.
And that's the very bottom of the slippery slope. So, but the governor, I mean, I don't want, like, he was doing a stream of consciousness thing, and he's probably, I mean, let's try to look at it at a human level. Probably not had a lot of sleep, had a lot of shit going on. And I think the sentiment was, once in a while disconnect. And I can totally agree with that sentiment. Like, every day I disconnect for a couple, 3 hours, I don't know if I do a full day, but I like just turn everything off and take it. And especially after yesterday, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. The last 2 days were just fuck, man. And it's bad enough that we saw the video of the murder, of the assassination over and over again. But it was what was worse was the reactions of people celebrating it was fucking disgusting, man.
And it's been with the Ukrainian girl and Irina, I think's her name. I always forget what her name was, and I wish I would stop forgetting, because it's important to continue to remember her and everything that happened. But between that and that horrible video that came out, and then Charlie Kirk kind of focusing on that story so heavily, and then then all of a sudden after the Irina story blows up, and then Charlie Kirk shot. And I talk to people that don't follow this shit, and they couldn't get away from it on social media either. Because I was like, well, I'm following this and I can't get away from it. And then I'm talking to people that have nothing to do with politics, and they're like, I can't get away from it. It's everywhere. That video was everywhere, and you could not get away from it. And it was it's one of the worst videos I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad shit, but knowing the circumstances, knowing the setting, knowing who we're dealing with, knowing that his family was there. It's probably the worst video I've ever seen, and almost everyone has seen it. I talked to someone the other day that said they have been actively avoiding it, and I was like, please do, and then they called me up and they're like, I saw it. Like,
yeah, I saw it live. I was like, I didn't share it.
yeah,
But I saw it like when I was on the Nooner, and I was like, kind of ruined me for the rest of the show.
yeah. So it's it's like, does it start to slow down now? Does it continue to escalate? Do we continue to get more craziness? I don't have the answer to that.
It remains to be seen. I think catching this guy was really important, and I'm glad they did. Obviously, and then announcing it, and we'll get more, and that'll dominate the weekend. Hopefully, it doesn't escalate. It felt like. It certainly felt like that, but when we get more details of the why and the how, I mean, was he just a nut? Was a spurned fan? But like fascism on the bullet, I think that's a tell, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I go ahead, Gary.
No, I'll go down the speculation and conspiracy highway, but I need a little more details.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's going to be so many things that there's so many questions that we all have right now. I wonder, are we going to get, with the dad being so supportive of like turning his son in, which I appreciate. Lord knows, man, like any parent understands that the level of that's the worst thing you would have to do as a parent, outside of obviously but like turning your child in of this
absolutely
crime, like,
but you'd have to be looking at like, I'm saving my kid's life, like, because if he's running around out there, he could get killed by cops, he could go delete himself. You're I mean, like, whew, that's a tough one, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to pretend that that'll be one of parents' worst nightmares. We have many worst nightmares, but that's one of them for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if someone's memeing in the chat or not, but they said he's 7'2". No wonder he couldn't hide. That's 72 inches, not 7 foot.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
I don't know if they're memeing or not. I have no idea, but it's Munchie Ninja. Just to be clear, I've never said anything other than Munchie Ninja on a stream. Never said anything. Thank you for 50. It says, after a couple of restless nights, I hope everyone in the snake pit finally gets some well-deserved rest.
Yeah.
And we all wake up tomorrow with more passion, more drive, more motivation to live life to the best and fullest. This was so gay. Hail. Thank you, Munchie Ninja. I appreciate you, brother. And yeah, it has, man. Like, I was completely out of it, man. Did you see me on some of these streams the last couple of days? Like, I was completely like, it has been, jeez, man. Like, I don't know. I still don't know how to describe it, and I still don't like. Me and you've been streaming forever now, and it's like I don't remember like full streams that I just don't. I don't remember much of anything since I saw the close up video of Charlie Kirk. I didn't remember most of those streams until me and Beardo got in our fight last night, and I was like, okay, good, we're fighting now, we're good, we're back to normal.
About your fight,
yeah, oh yeah, everybody's freaking out. Yeah, everybody's freaking out now. So like, oh my god, and I was like, guys, you've never heard me and Beardo argue ever, have you? My god, it's all we do is argue. Just like me and Ryan, it's like, it's what we do. It's what friends do, is argue.
I love that people are watching two streams at once. I do that too.
Yeah,
I have two screens and I got them going. I'm just like
juggling, man, juggling. So
that's awesome.
That's what it's all about.
No, it's I mean, to be fair, Jeremy, that's every stream for me. I don't remember anything I say afterwards, but I mean, it was yeah. I finally got a good night's sleep last night. I did. I slept like a freaking rock because I didn't sleep the night before at all. At all. I was up late when DC announced they fired that cow. It was like 2 a.m, and then I started talking to a comic creator about it for like another hour. I was up all night. I was up all night.
Yeah. So I don't know how true this is, but we're starting to get some interesting information. Stuff is just showing up in my For You tab. So I can't tell you like, oh, this is a Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress that's posting this. So take this for what you will. Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin donated to the Trump campaign. So that's what this person is saying. So I looked at his bio. So Obama, Biden, White House. So we'll see if that turns out to be true or not. But there is that. So I'm just telling you what information's out there. So the Democrat spin machine is definitely going to be all over this.
Oh
now.
boy. Yep.
So let's see here. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on social media. Social media is going crazy. When I tried to send you the link, it did that X is over capacity.
Yeah, it's nuts right now.
And it's been like that for like 5 days, it feels like. And my For You tab, usually my For You tab is very much like the stuff that I need to cover content, live streams. My For You tab is a fucking disaster right now.
Yep.
That I'm seeing insane stuff right now that I can't. Yeah, I was like, well, I don't even know what's going on anymore. It's really, really weird. But Laughing Haffron says YouTube censor, so I'll have to make this to where it can go through. I sent a message days ago when this happened. I don't know if you had time to read it, but I wanted but what needs to happen is this needs to be publicly, you know what, God bless you guys, stay safe. I know what you mean. I think we all know Donald Trump had a tweet back in 2013 about bringing back public certain things to happen in public. I saw a lot of people saying, where's this guy at right now? And I don't know if it's truly realistic, but I support it 1000%. I think I absolutely think that would change a lot of people's behavior, but I just don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, Trump in 2013, he had some stuff to say about it. So, our boy, Nick put it best. How do you say his last name? Freitas?
Nick Freitas.
Yeah. They couldn't bear the thought of a peaceful man debating them and winning, and they killed him for it. The issue being people want folks like us dead and will celebrate it. Their reactions show there could be no solidarity. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of, thank you so much, Ryan, for the 50. Appreciate it. That was my point about like the whole what's his face, the mighty Keith guy. I don't know if you saw my interaction with Smash JT about that, Gary, on Twitter, but
I saw a little bit of it.
So right here, Smash JT posted this, and he posted a tweet from Mighty Keith, and Mighty Keith starts this out with Charlie Kirk is a very evil man. But then he says, he didn't deserve to die, though. And it's just like, you call him evil. You said he spent his career dividing the country with race-baiting rhetoric, defending pedophiles, and advocating for genocide. I will be honest and say it's hard for me to find sympathy for a person who didn't even see me as human. What?
He spent Charlie Kirk defending pedophiles?
It's a reference to Trump. He's going after Trump when he's saying that.
Okay.
That's what he's doing.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yes.
But he didn't deserve to die, and he's doing the divisive thing when you're fuck off.
Yeah. So he says all of this. So he calls him all of these things. Yeah. He says all these things. He says he's, defending PDF files. He's advocating for genocide. He's racist. He's sexist. He's evil. But I didn't think he deserved to die. And hopefully we can come together as a country one day. And I'm like, oh my God. So Asmongold responded. And I like Asmongold. I just disagree with Asmon on this, but he says, this is just my opinion, but with all the unhinged psychotic posts celebrating the shooting, Keith doesn't seem that crazy. We shouldn't expect people to make the guy out to be a saint if they didn't like him. And he clearly states what was done was wrong. Bigger fish to fry. And I responded, says, this Keith dude would never give you the same courtesy. Smash JT is absolutely correct. No more middle ground anymore. We're sick of this shit. And then, I said, The dude called Charlie Kirk evil after he was assassinated. I refuse to unite with people that hate me and want me dead. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And I stand by it. And that's kind of where you're at with that quote you were talking about.
That's we'll talk. So somebody brought up a super chat earlier about not talking about on FNT. That's unfortunately that's going to be impossible.
It has to be like this has to be discussed. It's not going to be. I mean, again, Gary,
We're not
going to be the whole show, but it's going to have to be addressed.
No, we're not going to break down the assassination or show any of the video or any of that. What we're going to talk mostly about is how people in gaming and comic books have reacted to it. That's going to be our focus.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important because you guys talked about it on Daily yesterday with Kyle Katarn, and there's enough plausible deniability and like, well, it's really bad murder happened, but karma got him. This is the line of decency. This is the line of decency. There's people I don't like in this world that I wouldn't be sad if they died. That's honesty. You know what I'm not going to do? Celebrate it. I'm going to keep that shit to myself.
Yes. The moment you post on social media about how someone was evil, horrible, terrible, and they hated me as a human being, but I hope we can come together as a country.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck off.
It's so fucking patronizing, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's disingenuous. It's a lie. They are celebrating. They're very happy. They're just trying to be coy about it, and they think they're so much smarter than you. Well, they're not. Especially Kyle Katarn. That guy's a fucking retard. And what's his pin post? Him with Dave Filoni. And that's the kind of fandom Lucasfilm has curated. That's what they wanted. And that's what we've been talking about. And we think, well, it's just fandom. They're just calling Star Wars fans Nazis. Well, this escalates and this gets worse and it dehumanizes. And again, there's a term they use. I talked about in your last stream in Hollywood. It's called othering. But that's exactly what they've been doing to everybody in this chat right now.
Yep.
Everybody here. Because you had a different opinion on a fucking movie. And this is how dangerous it gets. I remember I was mocked a lot when I was talking about the divisiveness in Star Trek. And I can handle it, by the way. And they're like, you are just so hyperbolic. I'm all, no, they are baking divisiveness into scripts of Star Trek shows. That's the antithesis of Star Trek. That's the antithesis of Star Trek fandom. And they're making it divisive. Yep. And now we're 9 years into this shit, and people are still there's a motherfucker right now calling Trump a Nazi on Twitter, and it definitely needs to be called out. And I think, like I said earlier, we got a little used to it and laughed it off. But is the shit funny now? Is it funny now?
And look at this breaking news. The Secret Service has suspended an agent after they celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination and is expected to be fired. Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
The Secret Service had a person that was celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination. Are you fucking kidding me?
We have I'm going to state the obvious here. We have a massive problem in this country. We have cancerous rot in our government, and it will take years to get it out. And again, this is a line of human decency. I celebrating death. If you believe in karma, if you're believe in a balance in the universe, whether it comes from God or the one thing you don't want to do is celebrate a death. That's automatic bad karma.
Yep. You can't. It's so ridiculous, man. Like what was her name? Fucking. The Trump meme. You're telling me this for the first time. Who was that died? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right?
Yeah.
I didn't, I nobody liked her from the right or the conservative side. Though, but generally speaking, yes, you might can find, a few people here or there, but like when she passed, people were just like, sorry to hear that. They were mad that Trump was respectful to her death. The left was. They were mad about it. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe he's being nice. He's just doing this. It's just like, dude, like that's what you do when someone dies. It's just what you do. So, I mean, even like, remember when the initial videos of George Floyd were released and we all were like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And then you start learning more details. And then they built fucking monuments and burnt cities to the fucking ground and gave him a fucking golden fucking casket and covered up his, former acting career, let's just say. Didn't want to mention his amateur acting career.
No.
Didn't want to mention all of the crime that he committed. Didn't want to
violent crime.
Yeah. So all of the reaction, the negative reaction to George Floyd, had nothing to do with George Floyd. It had everything to do with the media and the left covering up and anointing George Floyd as a fucking hero. That's the problem with that situation. That's why people got mad. No one cared about George Floyd, the individual. We cared that they were eliminating all of the negativity and pretending like he was a saint.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people
nobody was celebrating that he died of a drug overdose. Okay, nobody was celebrating that.
Nobody. Nothing good about that. Dude needed help.
Yes, he did.
So simple as that. I did see there was another story, if I could find it really quickly, but yeah, I mean, news is wild right now, man. It is nonstop. You see if I can find it. What is this? Yes, man. There's so many things that's showing up on my For You tab from people that I don't even recognize, and I'm like, how is this?
I'm missing my puppy videos and my fucking animal, like nature is amazing videos, which I try to like click on a lot so it fills my feed.
Yeah,
it's all gone. It's all gone.
At least I got my Nintendo fix this morning. So we had the Nintendo Direct, and we covered that, so that was awesome. But yeah, I can't. So I got two $50 super chats over on Rumble. Thank you from Methos 3000 BC. Voltaire said, "I wholly disapprove of what you say and will defend it to the death your right to say it. Charlie gave his life for it, ironically, in a gun-free zone." It's true. You sent that one twice, by the way. I don't know if you meant to, or at least it's showing up twice. I don't know if you actually sent it twice. But if you didn't mean to send it twice, check your bank statement. But I'm seeing that 50 twice, and it's the same exact message, Metho. So just a heads up on that, brother. We just don't want you to get double charged. Marmillion says it's also fucked. It's also fucked up because the person that Keith explained. I do want that not part of the human race. That isn't the guy Charlie Kirk was at all. I don't know exactly what you were trying to type in some of that, but I read it for what it was, Marmel. So thank you so much. But I know the point is the framing of what he was saying. He was completely framing Charlie Kirk in an inaccurate way.
Yes.
And that's the problem with that right there.
He was a Nazi. But I don't think he should have been murdered. It's like, fuck off.
It's so unbelievable how they do that. We've got this from Trump this morning talking about Mamdani. Call him my little communist.
See these buildings? A lot of them in New York City you built.
I do.
That's called capitalism, not socialism. We have Mamdani, who is ahead in the polls here. What's your reaction?
It's amazing. It's up by 20. I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor.
He's my little communist. He's my little commie. He's the littlest commie. He's a communist. They're bad people, but he's a little commie.
It's like so. It's so disrespectful. I love it.
It's true. That's funny because he's true. He's this little dainty guy, little trust fund kid. He's a little commie. The littlest commie. That sounds like a special.
I had not heard that yet. That was freaking great, man. That is awesome. Holy crap, Trump. Good Lord.
New York, I think he should win. I think he should win. I think they should vote him in. You get what you get. You get what you get.
It's scary, man. It's scary.
Well, after we had basically a commie in our for San Francisco with a London breed. You saw how that turned out. She got booted eventually.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen King. That was the thing I was wanting to talk about.
Oh.
I think I bookmarked it. So Stephen King today, Stephen King is one of the most deranged human beings on the planet. And he apparently issued an apology. So I'm assuming you're familiar with this story with Stephen King. Have you seen it this morning? Looking for my bookmarks right
Man,
now.
I've held back on saying, because like sobriety's kind of sacred to me. But I had it typed out. I'm gonna say it here. I had it typed out. I'm all, as a sober guy, maybe he should go back on cocaine. I don't know. That's a terrible thing to say, though.
It's true though, brother. That's the problem. I'm looking for it right now.
I'll do like Matt Marsden and just say, not all sober people are like this. I'll just say that.
Anna Paulina Luna has demanded left-wing radical Stephen King donate $10 million to Charlie Kirk's family after King lied, then retracted that Charlie advocated stoning gays to death. My goodness, man.
He's not Islam. He's Christian. Okay. Let's get that straight.
Wow. So right here, no, he didn't. And it's exactly the kind of extreme rhetoric that encourages people to commit violence. He says, I have apologized. Charlie Kirk never advocated stoning gays to death. Then why did you say it?
Then why'd you say it?
Then why the fuck did you say it, you piece of shit?
I have apologized. Fuck you.
Man.
By the way, go see his movie in the theater this weekend, The Long Walk. Don't.
Yeah. Piece of shit.
With Mark Hamill in it.
God, yeah, a couple of the two. Who's more deranged, Mark Hamill or Stephen King?
Yes.
Exactly. That's the perfect answer. Red Mage for 20 says they're definitely going to try and pin this on conservatives, Trump supporters for their narrative to keep the heat off of the left. They did this with 2 Congress members in Minnesota. Yep. Remember that one? Not too long ago. Is it Mausk? Says in Portugal, mainstream media, they're calling Kirk just a religious radical. No big deal. And the common folk eat it up. You don't hate journos enough. God bless you guys. Well, thank you for the information. Appreciate that. That's good to hear. I like to hear different perspectives and things like that of what's going on. Red Mage for 20 says, speaking of George Floyd, you guys remember the story in Toledo, the mural of him on a side of a building got hit by lightning? Oh, I remember that. Let's see. East Coast Toasted Boy says, I really do hope this guy repents and learns from his mistake and grows as a person. I know that's what his dad wants. I know a lot of people disagree, but I'm talking as a Christian. I hear you, brother.
Yeah, I think I would guess that's what you probably hear from the family. It's like I'm sure Charlie's wife is broken right now, but you got to think about this guy's parents too. And knowing what I know of the Christians in my life, they are about forgiveness. He should still stay in jail the rest of his life, and maybe he'll meet the death penalty, and hopefully he finds his way to redemption before that happens. He's got an opportunity, but what's done is done, man. He took away a dad from 2 little kids in front. The kids were there, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
I
won't go into too many details, but I had an extended family member do something pretty horrible a long time ago that I wasn't super close with, and I cut ties completely with them. Like, I will never speak to them again. I hope they die. Like,
I mean, like
what they did. Like, that's just the truth, because what they did is they did something that, it's there's no coming back from these things. So
no,
just
no. There's a path to redemption for a lot of things, Jeremy.
Yeah. Some things there's not.
Murder, an assault on a child.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Better luck next time.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that.
If you kill somebody, if you touch a child, if you do things like that, like you deserve to be
Adios.
Eliminated from this world. Celebrity Jeremy for 20 says banning hate speech is unconstitutional, not to mention that it can't be clearly defined and is completely subjective and is absolutely being taken advantage of by Twitch, Blue Sky, etc.
Yeah.
Blue Sky is a fucking disaster, brother. Holy crap. Like, it is that's a terrible place, man. Holy shit.
It really
I can't believe the shit I'm seeing. Asmongold, I need to finish watching his new video, but he went over a lot of these game developers and stuff over on Blue Sky. Like, holy shit.
It is the huggiest of hug boxes of evil. You have to, I think you have to sign up for an account to see it. It's not something you could just like Twitter. I think you can see for a little while without an account.
Mhm.
I don't think I honestly haven't gone over, and I'm not going to sign up for an account. But there's, there was a, like, the libs of TikTok, there was a Blue Sky account. I don't know what happened to it. It needs to come back for Twitter.
I
We
remember that
need,
one.
yeah, we need that one to come back.
Mhm.
So I don't have to sign up for an account because I don't want to
Mhm.
do it. And it's, and it's everybody off Twitter and Tumblr. So it's people who have been around, and it's Reddit. Like Reddit was something I was into like back in 2015, Jeremy. And it was bad then. It was bad then. And I was just there for nerd shit, but that's Reddit. That's Blue Sky. These people are out there, and that's why it's important to have free speech and not ban this stuff and actually see it. So that oh God, I forgot who was talking about it today. It's pretty salty. But they were saying like, oh, it was Nick Freitas. He was saying, I think there's a point where we have to get where we're not with, and if it's not Nick, forgive me, Nick. I'm pretty sure it was Nick. I'm at a point where I know I'm not amongst fellow countrymen anymore. There is a divide. There are people who want us dead. There are people who genuinely want us dead, and they are among us. And where we go from here, I don't know, but we have to acknowledge that. I mean, we have to acknowledge that. Like we tried getting along or saying, oh, this is just hyperbole. They're not serious when they say it. And it's like, well, what have we been hearing a lot when people, especially over the last few days, when people show you who they are, listen and believe.
Mm-hmm.
Listen and believe, and be careful. Because there's a lot of unhinged people out, and this goes back to 2016. Remember was it Colorado or Utah, where a Trump supporter got shot in the back of the head?
Yep.
Because he was wearing a MAGA hat. Right. And that's not the only case. We had in 2020, it was 2020. We had a couple of Trump supporters get killed. And it was just kind of like in the media, it was like, dude, if it was the other side, they would have statues and murals everywhere.
You get roasted in the chat.
Why?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. I say it all 3 different ways.
I could. You were trying to make a good point, but I kept laughing at the chat. They were like hyperbole.
Well, there's
a new sport.
Hyperbolic. It was hyperbolic, but yeah, I say hyperbole and I say it wrong. It's the hyperbole. I am the champion of the hyperbole.
Oh shit, that was so funny.
I speak a good English. What are you talking about?
Oh man, that was good stuff. That was funny as hell. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Oh my goodness, where's it at? Destiny's own son hates him, says Jeffrey. Yeah, I guess
kid's got a chance.
I didn't even know until recently he had a son that was like, on the internet or whatever. So I was like, geez. Free Men Die Free for 10 says that this is technically the mainstream media Obama Congress fault. Obama plus Congress authorized the Smith act legalizing propaganda. Mainstream media spreads it, not just Dems, because GOP Congress authorized it too.
Yes, they did. So the deep state, the uniparty authorized all this, and Obama coming out and making a statement at all, I guess he had to, but it's disgusting. Fuck off, dude. You created so much of this. Let's be real. A lot of this started with Obama. Remember the scandal-free president, Obama. Jeremy, the scandal-free president who has tried to run at minimum 2 soft coups in our country, who's was the puppet master behind Biden until he broke off a little bit, was going to be the puppet master behind Kamala Harris, has absolutely been running shit behind the scenes and run the most divisive shit. Let's not forget who his mentor was. His mentor was a guy from the Weather Underground, a fucking commie organization.
Good old Weather Underground. I remember Sean Hannity talking about that every fucking
So did
night.
Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
Hannity and Glenn Beck were
The
all over that shit.
Weather Underground was every night from Sean Hannity was talking about that shit, man. I was like, dude, like it was crazy how much they were focusing in on that.
Bill Ayers. Yeah, Bill Ayers.
Yep. William Bill Ayers, I think is his William Ayers, and they called him Bill for short.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that was every night they were talking about it. Magnum North says the Brazilian commies just sentenced Bolsonaro to 27 years in prison, political assassination, and false imprisonment. Oh yeah, you didn't hear about this? This was yesterday. Yeah, false imprisonment is the norm. This is a global fight against communism. So Marco Rubio actually made a comment about that. Let me see if I can find that right now. So yeah, that was yesterday.
Dan
Marco Rubio.
You best get out.
Bolsonaro. Let's see. I gotta find it. But yeah, he had commented on it and talking about the political persecution and everything like that. I have to look it up. I did bookmark it. But yeah, they got announced yesterday. He got 27 years. And I wish I could find it, but not sure where it's at now. But
that's not gonna end well.
No, not at all. But Rubio,
well,
is this it right here? Here's somebody talking about it. But yeah, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the United States will respond accordingly to what he called a witch hunt against former Brazilian President Bolsonaro, just sentenced to 27 years in prison for plotting a coup. There you have it. Scary times we're living in, man.
Mm-hmm.
Scary times. Definitely. And I mean, again, it's
NFL just played a fucking game there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I can't help but think about how things would be if Harris was our president, man. Like it's so terrifying.
There will be online act after online act, and people would be getting shut down, absolutely shut down. What you're seeing in the UK would be happening here.
Yeah, it's scary as hell, brother. It's scary as hell. SM2 says, just want to say you guys are awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
You're awesome.
Zinni says the UK system is coming. That's what all of this is leading to. If you want to get rid of the leftist calling for violence online, you got to start actually policing the internet. Well, I mean, like what Asmongold said. I mean, he's been saying it for a while. It's the evidence is right there, like on Reddit, on Blue Sky, on Twitch. Like it's there. People are telling you exactly what they are capable of doing. And that stuff needs to be taken seriously.
Well, we're not getting equal application of the rules and the law. That's the problem.
Yes.
But the rules are there. I mean, making more rules, I'm not really for that. I'm for equal application of the law. One narrative is okay. The other one is not. Asmongold did a video, I think yesterday. And when he was talking about these Reddit posts, he talked about using the leftist tactics against them. Start going to work. And, and this isn't normal. People don't do this, but start going to work and go to your HR department going, I don't feel safe.
Yep.
I don't feel safe. This person's like throwing out death threats and I don't feel safe in this work environment. And what will happen is that HR department, especially like at Twitch, for example, will not do anything.
Yeah. Well, here's another more update, but the Secret Service agent who publicly said Charlie Kirk deserved to be killed has officially been placed on leave, expected to be fired immediately because of this. Charlie Kirk says black women do not have brain processing power. So this is the guy right here. Again, this guy, how do you work for the Secret Service and you post some shit like this? How is this fucking possible, bro?
A lot of people do.
That's amazing.
I would say it is a large number of people in the Secret Service and in the CIA and the FBI feel exactly that way.
Speaking of lack of brain processing power, you're a fucking idiot for posting this to social media working for the fucking Secret Service.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
Pretty retarded.
So unbelievable.
Any business owner out there who's celebrating this, I mean, if you can't check your emotions enough, you deserve what you get. You know, you're supposed to. Like business owners are getting wrecked right now for celebrating it, and it's like you got to think about, for one, your employees, your livelihood, all because you couldn't contain yourself for a moment.
Mm-hmm. It's the weirdest thing ever, man.
And that is nature working itself out, by the way.
Nothing like proving I don't even know if the quote is true, but like nothing like proving the fucking quote true from your perspective.
Yep.
Like, how fucking retarded can you be? Good Lord, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Zanaxima says he and his family look normal. This is the lesson in that it's not always obvious who is and isn't crazy. You always need to be aware of others, and parents always need to talk to their kids and be a part of their lives. 100%.
Yes.
100%. And, that's...
It's parenting. I mean, not to get on them too much, but and maybe he was off at school, maybe he got radicalized at school and they couldn't see it. Like I don't know. It certainly happened in the past, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I mean, it is tough, man, because you don't want to question, the parents, especially considering the dad's the one that turned him in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very I don't know any of the details. I can only speculate based on what I don't know. But for this kid to get this gun and be capable of this, it feels like there had to be some type of sign that the parents could have picked up on. But who knows, man? Who knows? You just never know. I want to get more details and more information before speculate too much. SM2 says the Italian phrase and the 3 arrows etched on the bullets are anti-fascist slogans going back to the 1930s. Rated M says the amount of people, liberal, gay, trans, of every leaning, making videos about leaving the left over this tragedy and media spin will haunt the Dems for generations. The more they spin, the worse it'll be. Agreed. Wagenstein says, Cash saying, see you in Valhalla to Charlie, who is Christian, is so offensive. I guess he couldn't say heaven because is Hindu. What are we doing here? Packing Protons says, I was permabanned on Reddit for saying Dems are domestic terrorists. Fuck Reddit. Yeah, Reddit's awful. Cliffix, what's up, Cliff? Says the toxic woke ideology infection runs extremely deep on a global level. The problem is far worse than we ever knew. The money behind it is scary too.
You could say heaven if you're Hindu. I don't know why I said Valhalla. I noticed that too, but I mean, it's heaven. It's heaven.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Was it like something between, again, well, it's weird because if it's something personal between them two, then it shouldn't be made public, Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Story Sprite says, check out Michael Knoll's stream. He just did. He says that you can't have a free marketplace of ideas when people are afraid of getting shot in the marketplace.
That's what they want. Yeah. That's the whole point.
Nico says, I'm a center-right person. I was in a leftist channel yesterday, and that black woman was saying that you can't expect her community to show sympathy because of what he was saying about George Floyd. And he says, you call them communist. I don't even give them that honor. The Soviet Union was run by men. These leftists are neo-Marxists, and Karl Marx was as much of a weirdo as them, whose disgusting ideology was a poison to the world. Thank you, Nico. Appreciate it, brother. Nick says, bring back public deletions for this guy. Him and many others. I mean, the guy that killed the Ukraine. I mean, I keep saying Ukrainian girl. Ukrainian girl. Get him the same. I mean, I'm on YouTube, so I'm just gonna say hey, I support the idea. So I support a tweet from President Trump back in 2013. That's what I'll say. Okay. Kevin Spears says, I'm 45-year-old disabled vet. I've cried every day since Charlie. It breaks me to see the country my battles died for, and I can barely walk for sink like this. Brother, I know, I hear you, man. It's been a hell of a few days, man, but I'm glad we got so many peeps just hanging out with us, chilling. So that's the whole point, is to find some like-minded people and kind of, get all that stress out. David Phillips says, Jeremy, I think SEAL Team 199 needs to rescue Dan from Brazil. Mod lives matter, chat lives matter. Yeah, well, Dan's a billionaire in Brazil, and he probably wouldn't have enough money to rent a house, here in Florida. That's just how it is. He's a billionaire in Brazil, but he probably couldn't afford to live in America because the currency's so terrible there. Zenny says the rules of the future online censorship will follow the Schmitten rule. For my friends, anything; for my enemies, nothing. Meaning that the rules will apply to the enemies of the current ruling class. JB username says, wait, hang on a second. Jeremy is a Jew. No wonder our moms are always in his DMs. Does this mean we get extra presents this holiday season, stepdaddy? Yeah, I'm glad I found that out the other day. Breaking news to me. So, but hey, maybe I got some money somewhere that I didn't know about. Now I have to keep, begging for super chats. East Coast Toasted Boy says, it's good that these Secret Service agents are saying those things. We need to know which ones think this way, because they wouldn't be willing to do their jobs to keep Trump safe. Get them out. Get them out. Linux Tech for 20 says the same people celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination are the same people that got people fired from their jobs for not taking the vaccine. More so, they dehumanize people for not taking the vaccine. Agreed. Brother 6 says Valhalla is for warriors and Kirk fought for what he believed in. Stop being sensitive, soft men. Rob. Listen, the internet's gonna you heard my argument yesterday, okay? So with Beardo, it's these people that just look into every fucking little detail of everything. It's like, okay, go for it. OBDM video says what appears to be happening is that the left have adopted a hardcore Islamic attitude. If you don't act the way we want, you'll be ended. Just filtering through. How long are you hanging, Gary? I mean, you can hang as long as you want.
I can hang for like 25 more minutes.
Okay. All right. No problem. Let's see.
Then I have to go outside.
Touch grass?
Outside. Gonna go touch a little grass. Yeah.
86 Barb Omega says, congrats on gaining new subs. Yeah, it's awesome. Until they hear me talk about something they don't like, they'll probably lose some. So that's how it goes. So let's see. All right. So when's the penance for to be paid in public? I don't think that's going to happen. But it obviously wouldn't be a bad thing. But I don't think that's unfortunately going to happen. But if it was ever going to happen, Gary, what do you think? This is about the one, right? I mean, a guy who is friends with all the top people. If it was ever going to happen.
If it was ever going to happen, it would happen with this. I think if you want to make a bigger point, you do it with the guy who killed Arena. I think you make a bigger point by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it sounds great to say. The death penalty is that's a slippery slope too. This might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but if you have the guy, you have all the evidence, and we know it's right, then I'm not entirely against it. But it's the potential of getting things wrong or railroading people into that death penalty, and becomes it's something we should be conscious doing when the state has that kind of control.
I do agree with that, because this is the emotional side speaking out. When we say that, we're like, oh, we want this guy taking care, but it's just like anything else. When you start thinking about the slippery slope involved,
Biden being in control of the death penalty,
right? That's where it gets very, very complicated. So, and I often pull myself back from that a lot with like, oh yeah, I would like for this individually done, but it opens up a slippery slope. So that's where you get emotionally charged and you don't think about all the ramifications of something like that. Linko Kenobi for 50 says, what's up, Jeremy? I just sent you a video on Twitter about The View. Check it out when you get a chance. I wish I could cover this press conference, but I have to get ready for work. Always hail the 199. Thank God we caught the SOB. I appreciate it. Linko Kenobi.
His dad doing the hardest thing a dad's ever going to do. Dude.
I know. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Andrew
Sierra says, U-Tons is Beardo's nickname, Beardo Fat. Cheese Fries now says, did this guy mention the shooter picked up the rifle from a drop location? Who provided it? Just sped right past that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to be a ton more details that we need to get in terms of when did he get it? How did he get it? All of that. Let's see. Plato says, y'all really skipped over my super chat. No, I didn't. I have 97 super chats, but I will specifically put the whole entire show on hold for you. So I'll scroll through and see if I can find yours just to keep you happy, since apparently the whole show is centered around your specific super chat. So I will find it. We'll hold up the whole show. Everybody else's money is not good, but yours is the most specific one. We don't want you to be offended, you specifically. So I'm literally scrolling and wasting fucking time so we can make sure that your fucking super chat gets read, since I intentionally skipped your fucking super chat. Okay. So I'm going through right now so we make sure, because clearly I skipped it because it might have, said something Jeremy didn't want read or something like that. So I'm still looking for it, by the way. It's going to be funny if yours is like one of the most recent ones. Okay, here we go. There. Okay. You sent it at 10:30 fucking 4. And it's 10:41. 7 fucking minutes. 7 fucking minutes. You couldn't wait. People have been waiting an hour. But there you have it. There. We happy now? We fucking happy?
Valhalla is for warriors. That's
Jesus.
what he meant by that. Yeah, I agree.
Fuck. Now I'm going to drop some gifted memberships since he's mad too. Okay, so there. We'll drop 10 gifted memberships for you just in your name. Okay?
I'm not mad.
Hang on. Let's drop the gifted memberships. Okay, so we don't want people fucking crying in the fucking comments. Feels good to be back. All right, here we go. There. There's 10 gifted memberships, so now everybody can be fucking happy. All right, there we go.
See, now I'm not happy.
Now I'll go all the way back up to the top. And start with these are from 9:30. So that's how long these people have been waiting. Gary Oakey says, I am Charlie Kirk. I am Irina Zaruska. I think I'm saying that correctly. Queenie says, I'm tired of being told to take the high road. Peter says, I hope this is the turning point, but I have doubts, sadly. Mike says, never apologize, / being scared to say you follow Christ. Maddening says, nope. Justice for Charlie. We are all still processing this, prayers and healing for the family. Britain says Utah in here. I have never heard that term, by the way. Utah?
Yeah, I guess that would be it. I can't say I've heard that either. I'm a Utahan.
I've never heard Utah. Wait, did the guy get gifted that I was yelling at? There's no fucking way.
Yes, good.
There's no fucking way.
Yes. He deserves it.
I'm looking to see. He did.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
That's so fucking cool, dude. Britain says Utah.
Hail, brother.
Oh shit. I need people to understand that Spencer Cox is a rhino. He virtue signals. He rigged his own election last year. He did as he did his lieutenant governor. Cox has TDS. Charlie Kirk warned about Cox in 2022. Really?
Was that the governor who was talking?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Damn. Unfortunate last name.
I gotta say that's who was it that he just sent another super chat, but it's hard to pull this up right now. A Utard.
Chat said a Utard.
Ryan says arrows are casings. Arrows on casings are the Helldivers stratagem. Yes, it's a Helldivers reference. Yes. Logan Miller with 5 get the memberships. Thank you. Topher says it's easy to criticize Cash over the impotence of the FBI, but can you imagine if Ray or Comey had been in charge? Would they have even been looking? I agree. Corey says that guy is Gary when he takes off his hat and beard. Indy Ice says Gary.
I take off my beard at night. I do every time before I go to sleep. I just clip it off. Yeah.
Let's see here. I know I highlighted some of these earlier. Got that one. Got that one. Got that one. Crazy Clown Town says also another Utah in here. I swear I will never get used to that. Cox is favoring California millionaires over natural born Utahns. He is Newscomb 2.0.
Oh man. They need John Dutton.
Utahns is amazing.
Oh yeah, I know that's Montana, but yeah.
Yeah.
They need a John Dutton in Utah.
Yeah.
Before he died in season 5 when it was stupid.
Yeah. Spoilers. Kanan Ball says this governor sucks and lies and covers for the Dems. Three Mate says he used a World War II Yahtzee Mauser 98 Antifa. Storm Shadow says is Beardo in Manosphere thinking of a new blame Netflix Yahoo theory? If Beardo was this wrong, should I reevaluate my thoughts on BVS too? Well, you should always reevaluate your thoughts on BVS. That's for sure.
Is BVS better than James Gunn Superman? He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
I've been really mixed on this one. If I had to watch one or the other, I would probably watch BVS.
There you go.
If I had to watch one or the other, I'd probably watch BVS.
There you go.
I think they're both equally dog shit, but for different reasons.
I'm so not sorry to put you on the spot like that, too.
I think like the way I would have to answer is I'm not going to say which one is better or worse because I think they're both terrible. But if I had to be forced to watch one, I would pick BVS. That's how bad James Gunn Superman is. Walter says that Charlie showed us the way out, talk with each other. Well said. Sakuri says, somebody check on Ryan. Shorty Short says, Beardo, I do my own research. Spartan says, he is from my country, sickening. County. Okay, got you. The Horror Host says, Ciao Bella is the communist partisan song from World War II. It was one of the bullets. The fascist one had Helldivers code. Definitely left wing. Ty Robbs says, why do I share a name with the killer? John Gets Gamey says, when Corey was shot, Destiny didn't care about anything else about him because he was at a Trump rally when he was shot. He already was normalizing killing. Yep, I remember that. So Corey says, Jay, come here and touch grass with us. Southeastern Kaiju says, kicked into high gear with Obama, Marxist radical. The Big Billy becomes a new member. Captain Penguin, new member. Mad Frog says they took him alive. They can't use the registered Republican excuse with Crooks to do what this guy did means he's filled with left-wing hatred. Jeffrey Hill says the Democrats and the media all blame for all the propaganda and lies. Thank God we have channels like yours to speak the truth. Well, thank you. Darth Gavel says Karma is already talking with the celebrators. L Wings Secret Garden says, is it just me or did that guy try to use Charlie's tragedy to advocate for online censorship? He was, I think he was using, again, just based on that press conference, I think he was using it for campaigning. Like it felt like he was campaigning, not necessarily for like any upcoming, but like campaigning for himself. Like this is my I'm visible now in the national eye right now. I need to show everyone who I am. That type of thing. You know, that's what it felt like to me. Politicians are always going to be a politician though. Kubis says that talking about taking the high road, show you have more compassion. Don't let them offering you get the feeling. What the F? Blast Radio says leftist Democrats are responsible for the discourse happening in the U.S. right now. Never forget that. Quagmire says, I agree with Jay. Ball 95 says, surprised the governor didn't blame video games. Yeah, but RFK apparently did. So I haven't heard it yet, but apparently RFK blamed video games. Good Lord. Warbear says, for some reason, Leos can produce some rotten kids. Wise Gorilla says, you don't know if they talked with the dad prior to the confession. They identified the kid, so there is a possibility that he talked to the dad. That's a good point. NDI says, can we find him in a BlackRock ad? Phil Beller says, Ray would have taken him out with no trial. Default says, the FBI sounding like that kid in high school after the group project gets an A+. But nothing he contributed to get the grade. Eric John Pizza Artist says a university system destroyed this kid. Packet Proton says Mr. Trump looking into George Soros. Now, if he could also look, if he could look and take down Vanguard, BlackRock, and Disney as well, that would help. Infinity Flare says for the uninitiated, Ciao Bella is the Antifa hymn, and the bulge is a reference to furry culture. Yeah, I don't know anything about that shit. Philip Butler says the left is collapsing. They don't realize it. Humble. Okay. Humdle dirt merchant. Okay.
Humdle dirt merchant.
Going forward, we the people need to find our own security. If cops can't and won't watch the rooftops, it's up to janitors and maintenance guys. It's crazy that we're at this place. Trump had someone on the roof, and now Charlie Kirk on roofs. Like, what the fuck?
I was just watching, listening to Grum's tweet from the press conference of the governor talking about that Discord conversation, and I didn't catch rifle drop point.
Yeah. I didn't get the specifics on it, but yeah. I know.
So what the hell? And I caught the part where he was exchanging messages and they didn't like Charlie Kirk and yeah, that's yeah, I was like, what? I missed that one, but you know, I wasn't listening every second because I was running around getting coffee. But
and then they said he was. They said I think they said they claimed he wasn't working with anyone, and so it's like it doesn't. Okay. You know, it doesn't make sense.
You just said rifle drop point. I mean, what does that mean? I could be wrong, but I just heard the governor say it.
Yep.
Go to Grum's tweet from like was it 19 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. He's got it isolated into about it's 21 minutes ago. It's about 3 minutes long, but if you go in about a minute, 45 seconds, you can get to that point.
How long ago was it? The tweet?
21 minutes ago.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He put they coordinated the rifle drop on Discord. That was the tweet.
Yeah, see, I don't. And what timestamp do you want me to go to?
Just go about that far, right there, where you were before, right there. Yeah, that's good.
They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had.
Kirk.
The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation.
There's a lot to unpack here, man. But
There's a lot.
Yeah. We'll dive further into this for sure. But
Yeah. Is that like the chat asking that, is this after or before the shooting? I don't know. But the communication, there was communication going on. If he's acting alone, why would you even know this? And again, I don't know.
Yeah. Samuel B for 20 says, Jeremy, you didn't read my super chat. That's because I didn't send one, but now I am. So I guess you're technically reading my super chat, but I'm going to tell you in another 20 minutes here, you're saying you didn't read it. And that was, oh shit. Well, that was only 11 minutes that it took me to get to that one. So thank you, Sam.
Slipping.
Levi says, when Gary said hyperbole, I thought he was goofing on Harry Sisson, who did the same thing on Piers Morgan.
Oh, did he? No, I can be as retarded as Harry Sisson. It's all right. But I don't pretend to be a political commentator either. So.
Shit. That's good stuff right there. I want to find the one from the guy that I was meme. It's right here. Plato Castro says, I love you guys, but seriously, man, that's ridiculous. Look, it all worked out. All right. I roasted you. I dropped some get to memberships. You got memberships. Now everybody knows who you are. You're legend. Everybody fucking loves you now. So it's a win-win, man. That's typically what happens in dumb moments on my streams. So General Duale says, thank you, Jeremy, Gary, and everyone else who has been going live talking about this tragedy. Hail the 199 and the fellowship. Thank you. Trish says, I'm just grateful they didn't do a fucking land acknowledgement. Would have lost my ever loving mind. I think you were trying to edit that one. VJ says, everyone should watch Chris Walken lion speech. Goku McDuck says, how can we be sure he did not work alone? Eli Saul says, label Antifa a terrorist organization, Trump 199. Canis Dingus is at Gary. Did you see the reports of the flight that left Utah with the transponder disabled right after the shooting? Beardo had an interesting take.
No, did not hear about that.
I've heard that it was debunked. So, I mean, I heard it reported on. I heard people say it's not true.
Flights take off all the time without transponder. They're supposed to have them, but not everyone does.
Yeah.
If you watch Skinwalker Ranch, everybody, which takes place in Utah, they have flights over their ranch all the time with vehicles that do not have transponders.
Daniel says, Gary needs to apologize. People eat cows. No one is eating that DC creature.
I apologize to all the cows that we will consume in our life. Yeah, that creature was not grass-fed. No.
Eli Saul says, blame the media and wacko academia for the evil. Final Halo says, how long until the GoFundMe goes up? Philip says, engraved, that's from Helldivers 2. By the way, Gary, I don't know how much longer. I know you said you had like 20 minutes. I don't know how much longer I'm going to say.
3 minutes.
Okay. Gabriel says, can we go back to the timeline where we talk about the prequels, how the prequels suck, and how we wonder if we're too harsh on the kid who played young Anakin? Man, that seems like an eternity ago. Yeesh. Bimbo Dickens says, if other set of clothes were not recovered, I'm still suspicious of this story. Goku McDuck says, Nintendo died when they placed Minecraft Steve. Bradley says, the Troons really wanted this one, but they didn't have the balls to pull it off. Big Trouble Media says, I always say Beardo is a Horace Hogan. Jeremy, you are Crash Holly. Samanator.
Sure.
Mark Camel. I say names incredibly slow.
You have
because
to.
There's so many.
Because I mean, we're illiterate,
Dude,
and then we don't know if we're actually going to say a gamer word or not. You have to be careful with this.
There's a new account, and it's a picture of a woman, and it says, I love Jenna apostrophe S side. And Beardo said it like just whoom. And I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? And to be fair, I almost said it myself last night reading Super Chat.
Oh, no.
I almost said it.
That's like Nicholas Gore. When you see Nicholas Gore come along. Oh shit.
It was so funny, dude. I
Oh,
was
no.
like, we got no one for 50, says Jeremy and Gary. I love you, brothers. It's a travesty that Charlie had to die as a martyr, but now people can stop believing the radical left can be reasoned with in civil debates. Stay safe. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, not when when CNN is constantly floating up Destiny and Hassan, and then they were like the most provocative people out there, right? Remember how bad they used to get about Milo Yiannopoulos, who's going to make his rounds coming back. I mean, they're worse than he ever was.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. It's McDoubles for 20 says, Jeremy sent you a video on Twitter. Liberal goes crazy after losing his job. Be warned, it's loud. I saw that one. I might play that one before we end. But yeah, I do have that one bookmarked. Ian Young for 20 says, folks, I'm a Christian too. I've done a lot of Bible study on the subject, and there's no mutual exclusion between death penalty and forgiveness. They're both righteous and serve different purposes. Let's not be weak. Thank you for the 20, Ian. Appreciate that. Olympian Product says, Jeremy, I know you've been saying that you're nothing compared to Charlie Kirk, but I want you to know you're someone to us. Granted, someone who is extremely gay, but definitely someone heartfelt. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, regardless of like what I think of myself or not, I do know that there's like a lot of people that watch, my channel and, Nerdrotic and, Geeks and Gamers and all that. And so I have the proper, everything for the proper precautions here in Florida, at least, where I live and everything. So I'm, I don't worry about any of that. And I'm pretty careful when I'm out and about anyway, like I said, I'm a paranoid person anyway. So, but yeah, it is definitely like if I didn't live in Florida or a red state like I do, I'd probably be very concerned. You know what I mean? But, but I sleep pretty good at night from that perspective. Usage says, look at the trans cult known as the Zizians. They were responsible for the death of a border patrol agent in Canada border. There's a Discord somewhere recruiting crazies. Ugh. It's a lot of dark stuff going on the internet right now. Let's see here. Mr. No One says, I'm originally from Utah and can vouch that the governor is a snake that's contributing to the Californication of a once great state. The cost of living there is on par with Cali now.
It is. It went up there. We looked into it. It was popping up. Same with Arizona.
Gary, I know you got to bounce. So,
I got to bounce.
Hey, thanks for hanging out, man. Friday Night Tights on Gary's channel. What time, Gary?
3:00 Central.
Who do we have on?
Well, Vera Dark.
Vera Dark.
And we got Epic Mike and Chris Gore.
So you guys, there's been a lot of speculation, so I guess we'll announce it now. Gary made a deal with Netflix, and part of the deal with Netflix was that Epic Mike we had to race swap me.
Yeah, we needed a gay black man instead of a gay white man.
Yeah.
So
is there room for me to hop on there for a bit?
We can make room.
Okay. Because I know I told X-Ray Girl I wasn't going to make it, but I've had a slight change of schedule, so I can at least pop on there.
I can sit out and you can hop in. we can. So if you want to come in, we can make room.
I'll talk to you guys in the DM group. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think
in our secret DM group where we plot all of our stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Where you run the show.
I should just show our fucking DMs.
Dude, you absolutely should. Like
they're so retarded.
Where Gary runs everything and we plot all of our evil stuff that we do. That the DM group that I never fucking like.
No, it's you, X-Ray Girl, and Lady Gravemaster babbling away in there about some gossipy shit.
I just wish there was some screenshots of this DM group that we have where we're plotting shit, I'd like to see it. So anyway, but so what time's Friday Night Tights, Gary?
3 p.m. Central. I just want to say the only I think the good that could come out of this tragic, horrible assassination of a man, of a father, over his ideas, over just wanting to sit down and civilly debate people. The only the good thing is the center left, center right, particularly MAGA, that was fracturing, needs to unite, needs to come together over this, because this fight is not over. And I think a lot of people were fucking around and letting their egos get in the way, and they need to check that shit, and they need to unite, because this is going to be a long fight, and they want you dead. They want you fucking dead. So it's time to stop fucking around over the petty shit and get some important stuff done.
Yep. Right here, I see this. Marco Rubio in the State Department will now review the legal statuses of immigrants who are praising Charlie Kirk's assassination. Fuck yeah.
Wait, Jeremy, I'm looking around. Oh, can't find a problem with it.
None at all. So thanks, Gary, for hopping on, man. Always great to have you, brother.
Elder 199. See you later, brother.
Man. All right, later, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome to have Gary on. So always appreciate having him. Good to get his perspective on a lot of this. Gen X Memory says, I think he was wearing a large backpack. Could have had the rifle broken down inside. Paul 95 says, worried the dad will use the $100K to free his son. I don't think there's going to be any way that's happening. Default says he gave CK a public death. Maybe he should have one. Howdy, folks. Gaming says, upon reflection, I have decided to become even more firm and assertive about my beliefs. Kanan Ball says, hyperbole or hyperbole. Isn't that the name of Beardo's bidet? Gaming with Spoon says, Nick Freitas ended yesterday's podcast saying, thank you, Charlie. Your fight is over. Ours is just beginning. Dude was pissed, and I'm here for it. Rated M says, months ago, Lee Volger, Republican, got set on fire. Ben Hardwick says, hey, Gaza, good to see you on the stream. What? I wish you probably meant, you meant Gary, I think. It's better under better circumstances. What sport is it that they play with hyperbole? Hyperbole. Thank you, Ben. My dad says, the self-reports are crazy. I'm glad they do it, but it's mind-boggling when diddlers get caught because they're trading CP like baseball cards. Naughty, I'm sorry, says, had Harris won, we'd all be disappeared by now. Bashy Washy, what a lovely 2 baguettes. What's up, Bashy? Chris says, if Apple was smart at all, then they won't air the Savant and just cancel it. Kanan Ball says, Cash Patel Valhalla was a meme. 1-800-CASH now. Kingfire says, glad to be here with you guys. This is important. Thank you. MAGA Cracker Mike says, the left is claiming the shooter was MAGA. You can't make this shit up. Force Geek says, did y'all see that Charlie Kirk's last guest was Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk criticized Israel to Ben's face? That was his last guest. I think you're reading headlines. I think Charlie asked Ben some critical questions about Israel, but people are like making so much more of that, but that's what the anti-Israel crowd does. I've said it 1,000 times. Even Dave Smith is calling out the anti-Israel crowd, which is crazy because Dave Smith is always, leaning into that stuff. It's funny now that the anti-Israel crowd is pissed at Dave Smith. They were loving Dave Smith for a while because he was criticizing Israel. And now that he's going, what the fuck is Ian Carroll talking about? And now all the anti-Israel people are pissed at Dave Smith. It's funny as shit. Mad Frog says, Shalom, Jeremy. Can I have low interest loan, please? Geeks Gamers Play Highlights says, let's see. Belichow's lyrics on the casing is an Italian resist song against the Nazis. It's almost like the people calling us fascists have consequences. 3Mate says, did I understand that there was a guy in Discord dropping off the Mauser and ammo? Totally Antifa. Big Trouble Media says, why do these people always have receding hairline? Edward says, it should not be ignored that the FBI didn't do shit and his father turned him in. Also, King is a dick, but The Long Walk is excellent. Highly recommended. Luis C says, Jeremy, you missed Plato Castro's last super chat. Thank you. And Link 101 becomes a new member. Eric K says, I've been waiting years for Gary to read some of my supers. Sakuri says, Warriors don't have 7 minutes. Malkirs Gaming, I think I said that right. To be fair, they do like the Holo Live YouTubers. Let 6 days of super chat stack up. Then schedule a members only 3-hour stream where you get to read them out. Is that how that works? I've always been curious how other streamers that get a lot of super chats, and I mean like super chats like to the amount that I get, I've always been curious how other streamers handle it because I don't watch a lot of them. But like, do the biggest streamers that get the most super chats, do they read every super chat? Like, I know Tim Pool doesn't, but does Andrew Wilson, does he read every super chat? I know he gets a ton of super chats. Does Andrew Wilson read all of his super chats? And how does he do that? Curious about that. They don't read anything under 10. No, it's rare. You make a super chat scheduled stream. He gets behind and reads them late sometimes. Most big streamers don't. You and G&G Crowd are some of the only ones. Yeah, I mean, I try. I mean, like the last few days has been tough to keep caught up on them. But I try my best, man. It's people's money. Whether you're giving me $1 or $5 or $10 or $100, it's your money. And I try to appreciate that to the best of my ability. Shorty Short says, wait, we get stuff when Jared yells at us. King Fire says, in Utah, they're called Utards. I don't know how to say that one, but I hope it's Moto. I'm not going to even try to say it because I'll fuck it up, but I hope his social media doesn't get suddenly scrubbed like the last shooter so we can quickly find out how he became so radicalized. Let's say LR. See Evolution Electric in San Diego. BS, fuck around, find out. Sakuri says, why are you wearing Gmail logo on the hoodie? Malkiers Gaming says, Thermo AI doggos and Thermo AI drones are the only reason we have AI and that AI cat girl waifus, but we don't have those yet. Pickle Pepper says, the drop point thing might have been an accidental info leak. They might be pursuing the other guy, but weren't, but meant to tip the guy off that they were. King Fire says, leftists are the problem behind every problem. I agree with that. Lucky Death says, to my fellow Christians, it is not a sin to defend yourself, your family, or your community from demons. It is not a sin to destroy evil. Psycho Mouse says he's talking about retrieving it after the fact. It sounds not picking it up beforehand. Kevin Spears says we can see into galaxies and robots and planets, but we can't ever get a good video of crimes. Luis C says, I think drop point refers to him setting up a ditch and recover from premeditated drop off from a previous date. Troy News for 50. Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel is live right now. A remembrance. Yes, he's live on X, Twitter, YouTube. I don't know if it's on Rumble, but yeah. So Charlie Kirk has like a stream, like his channel has a stream going on. It's like a remembrance. So thank you, Troy News, for letting us know. And I did see that going on Twitter as well. Shaka Zula says, Charlie was a man of God. Don't do anything in his name that you wouldn't want to do. Romans 12, verse 17, 19, return to no man evil, for evil vengeance belongs to God. Demon Morse Tapeworm says, has anyone talked about the Amazon book about Charlie's assassination being published the day before and the New York Times article? I haven't looked too far into that one. I've heard a few people bring it up, but I don't know the details. Super Beat Legend says, it's crazy now. Everyone on the right has to shell out presidential level security just to have a conversation. Yeah. Security is very expensive. It's a necessary evil, but it's very fucking expensive. JP says, can Canada borrow Trump after his term? We need Trump. Random lurker. Have a good day. Thank you, brother. No, you can't have Trump. Sorry. Axiom Seraph says, all hail the virtual boy. Lol, Nintendo, what? Yeah, that was an interesting direct. I'm happy about the Mario Galaxy news. Obviously, I love Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, some of the greatest games ever made. I'm glad that the movie is titled Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's fucking crazy, but that was a weird direct. 9. That's all I'm saying. Don't know if anyone has pointed it out yet, but the arrows of the casings up, right, down in Helldivers 2. Yep, few people have pointed that out. James says it's not hyperbole if you say I'm not saying that. Ryan the guy says happy birthday to the 199 Queen Sydney Sweeney. Darth Gavel says Benny Johnson wants to billboard America with CK Memorial, one in every hometown. Hell yeah. Jesus Love You says, let's be honest, pro-Israel is anti-America. JP says, let's see, Sask ready to become part of the union. Thank you for the $10. Over on Rumble, Marmillion says, I meant Keith explained a piece of shit that shouldn't be part of society, but he then said, hey, men shouldn't die. I am tired. No, I totally understand, man. I totally understand what you're saying. Methos, by the way, I don't think your 50 showed up twice. Maybe it was a glitch on Rumble's side. I don't know. I could be wrong. So I don't know. We'll see. Deculance War says, Jeremy, did you see that on the 9th, Amazon published a book called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk? This is 100% a hit. I see people talked about it. I need to look into it. Lindsay, the cynical geek, says, whoever influenced him into killing Charlie needs to be exposed and made an example of. P.S. F Google for not allowing my super chat. Fubi says, it's been a while since I super chatted. Hi, Jeremy. But you're one of the few who reads them, but it shows that you care about your community chat along with the rest of Geeks and Gamers. Thanks for being awesome. Hey, man. I am just lucky to have the opportunity to do what I do, and I appreciate you guys letting me do it. The Girthquake says Utah has a death penalty, but I don't think he will get it because he is confessing. He will just rot in Supermax. Ricochet says 199. Young Stove says Hassan is hiding in his home and scared good. To be honest, nothing should happen. Just saying. Destiny is discussing hail the snake pit and the fellowship. No, nothing should happen to any. There should never be any political violence. End of discussion, period. I don't care what you think about them. 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's see. Adam says, not a lone wolf. Let's see. Jeffers Morning says, I wonder what Destiny's destiny is. Get in here, Ryan. What up, man?
Hey, what's going on? I totally forgot you were even live, and I just realized we probably should have rated when we got done with Geeks and Gamers Daily.
Oh, it's fine. I'm wrapping it up, so it's fine. So how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I wanted to say something. I have no idea what you've been talking about and how long you've been talking, but the revelation and everything that's come out about Tyler Robinson and stuff. What we've witnessed the past 48 hours is heartbreaking for a lot of different reasons, and Charlie's family being shattered and everything we've witnessed, the celebration. This story in and of itself, and this person, this piece of shit who did this, who will be counting the days until they get executed, and that will be a good thing. There is something extraordinarily heartbreaking about that too, because we have very little information, but from what we've gathered, what we can see, it feels like he's was a normal kid, grew up kind of middle-class family. Dad was a 27-year-old veteran of the sheriff's office, loving parents who cared about their son, who are proud of their son, who are happy to celebrate him going to college. And then the dark irony is that this is exactly the type of person that Charlie would have wanted to talk to. The people who, when they get into these hellholes, they get in these pits of echo chamber of people promoting Marxist ideology, all their professors saying the same stuff, pushing it down their throats, the same thing that the mainstream media is telling you, the lies that they're telling you, and their brains get warped and twisted and they get indoctrinated. This is the exact type of thing that Charlie Kirk was out there trying to stop and trying to talk to these people. But instead, they send the kid who they're so proud of for getting into college, and they send him off on his way thinking that he's going to have his entire life ahead of him. And he starts saying some strange things, and he comes back. He's got very political. He's got very hateful. He despises Charlie Kirk. He hates Charlie Kirk because that's what this college has indoctrinated him to be. And then for a father to be put in a situation where, one, you realize that this is what has happened to your child, and you realize that your child is responsible for this, And then to have to turn him into the police, knowing full well that your child is going to be executed.
And your family's name is going to be ruined forever.
Yeah, it is. It is incredibly heartbreaking that is the reality, and that's the decision that this family, you know, and the place that they were put into, and their lives are destroyed as well. And it all comes down to a person who is radicalized in the very same way that Charlie Kirk was trying to oppose. It's fucking awful, dude.
It really is, man. And that's what I talked about earlier. I mentioned it when Gary was here because it's the decision for this father to make that decision is got to be the hardest thing. Like, obviously, outside of burying your own child, which is essentially what he's
doing.
I know.
Yeah.
It's essentially what he's done. And in a lot of ways, this is probably even a harder decision because he had to make the decision to say, I've got to turn you in. Like, we have to do this. It's crazy, man. And we are heading into some dark times right now. There's some crazy stuff happening. And I don't have as much closure on this as I thought I would once this guy was captured. You know what I mean? I mean, I have some closure. I'm not saying that there's not some, but it's just like it's
going to take a while.
What it tells me is that there's more people out there like this. He's not the only one. And that's happening on a daily basis right now.
Well, Jeremy, I think that I just mentioned it earlier, but the reason that the past 48 hours have been as bleak and disgusting as it has been, it's not because somebody shot and killed Charlie Kirk, right? Because, yeah, witnessing that is awful. It's terrible. It's a horrific image. We're all going to always remember when we saw that and how we felt. But you can justify that, you know, there's crazy people everywhere. One person could do this. The difference is the hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are celebrating it, cheering it on, and asking who's next.
Yes.
For that amount of people, for the amount of people that we have seen out there doing that, that's the fucking horrifying element of it all. It's not that one person did one terrible thing. It's that millions of people cheered it on.
Millions. And that is indoctrinating and radicalizing even more people than that it already was. We all look at things on, you know, whether it's social media or television or whatever, and we try to justify things, or we go, oh, I guess it's okay if this person's doing it. And it's like, none of this stuff is okay, what we're seeing. None of it. I don't, how much did you guys talk about it on Daily? Did you just talk about it briefly on Daily?
We talked about the first like 30 minutes or so. Well, maybe first 20 minutes about this specifically. And then we went on to the Stephen Kings of the world, the other people that have been getting fired for cheering it on. And we talked about that. And we tried to finish off with some sense of normalcy by watching Sydney Sweeney's new movie trailer and talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie and stuff. You know, that's how we tried to finish it off with some sense of normalcy. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to separate all of it right now. But I do have a question for you right here, Ryan. There we go. JP for 10.
Thoughts on the SIG P226 Navy version? I've never shot it. I've never fired it, so I have no idea. I've got my P365 XL. That's my EDC. And I know some people have problems with SIG, and there's been some that have problems. There's no doubt about that. But as for me, that's the only one I can personally speak to, because it's really the only one that I have any level of true experience with.
And JP dropped 5 get to membership, so thank you, JP, for that. But yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap it up. Do you have any closing thoughts outside of what you said?
That's it. I just wanted to go out there and say that because
I appreciate it, man.
Like,
yeah.
This stuff, like hearing the stories, hearing that person turn it in, that hit me really hard this morning. Because it is like these colleges and the people in the media are destroying families they're doing it intentionally by radicalizing their children. And not all of them turn out like this, but a lot of them do turn out destroying families and turning people against their parents, telling them their parents have been preaching them evil their entire lives, like all of this stuff. And we know so little, only what we've heard, and the speculation and the rampant misreports. Remember all these people out there that were celebrating 4chan, finding this person and putting somebody who debated Charlie Kirk, this is the guy, whatever. Like there's so much rampant bullshit out there that everyone's falling for. So I'm sure more stuff will come out, soon. I would just say we need complete and full transparency on everything. And maybe not necessarily right as they find out, but very quickly, we need to find out everything that they're looking at and all the steps that they're taking, because people still have a lot of questions and people will always have a lot of questions. They need to be as transparent as they possibly can.
Yeah. Right now, have you seen any confirmation of if he and not that it's going to matter, but like I'm seeing conflicting multiple reports of like he was a registered Republican and all of that. They're saying the parents were registered Republicans.
I believe so. I have seen people saying that the parents are registered Republicans. I have seen that.
Yes.
I haven't seen anything about him. I don't think we've seen any official voting records or anything like that. But ultimately, what this feels like to me is kind of a normal middle class, probably Republican family that love their children, were proud of their children. Seems like and it's just social media. There's only so much we can glean by it. But I'm just saying, based on what we've seen so far, dad was a sheriff for 27 years, and their child was radicalized. Their child was radicalized at a university, at the very same thing that Charlie Kirk dedicated Turning Point USA to stop. The very same person that Charlie would have wanted to talk to,
have a conversation with. Dude, I'm on a personal level, because it's I feel bad that I did not watch more Charlie Kirk. Watching Charlie Kirk was an incredibly smart person. Seeing all the clips, seeing how wide-ranging his discussions were, I just wish I would have watched more. And I know I'm one of probably many that are going to be saying that now, but it's just like this guy was truly like a very, very smart guy.
He was a great communicator too.
Yeah.
Right. It is one thing to have ideas and thoughts and like all the stuff in your mind. It's obviously a different idea when you're able to speak it and put it out there in concise ways.
Yeah. And I guess that's ultimately that's the most positive thing is going to come from this, is that because of where we are now, like more people are going to hear what Charlie Kirk had to say. And that's the greatest gift that guy, gave to the country and the world, outside of obviously his family, because he would clearly say his family is the greatest accomplishment, like any, family man would. But yeah, his words are pretty incredible. And I'm glad to see that they're making the rounds. And I think that they're going to be making the rounds for a lot longer than they would have otherwise. So, okay.
That's it. I'll bounce. I'll let you kind of wrap everything up here, but just wanted to say that. So,
hey man, thanks Ryan. Appreciate you as always. Are you going? I know you're going for Friday Night Tight. So you guys subscribe to RK Outpost if you want. That's his main channel. And if you guys will subscribe to Patriot Outpost, you can bully him into making more political content, because he has all the time in the world. It's not like he's doing stuff for Geeks and Gamers and Sports Wars and all this other stuff. So, but yeah,
I posted there for the first time in like a year or something the other day. I just clipped out the first 30 minutes from my live stream where I was talking about Charlie. So yeah.
But, all right. Well, and enjoy me and Ryan being like nice to each other, because usually we're just, rude to each other. But right now, just,
I think we're being cordial. I don't know about nice, but
yeah, as good as we can. But in all reality, and Ryan is legit one of the smartest people I've ever met. Like, and a lot of the knowledge is useless knowledge, but it's still, it's helpful to me. You know what I mean? On this internet world. But a lot of the shit he knows is like 90% of people will probably think that's useless bullshit. But It's really not. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
Well, I'll take the compliment with a caveat that it's probably on a curve considering you grew up in Alabama. So, all right.
All right. Get the hell out of here, man. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye. Eric for 20 says, I'm glad they caught this guy. I found out yesterday I had a cousin who was at the college when it happened. She's safe, but she is going through a tough time. I hear you on that. JP says, I just don't understand what drives you to kill someone. Please talk to someone if you're going through it. Agreed. That is never the answer. Never the answer. Ministry of Wrong Things says, showing their face and name is really going to help make this worse. They want this thing. They want the thing that's what this was about. They want the fame. You corrected yourself in the next one. I got you. Josie says, oh, man, I wish I would have saw this one when he was here. Ryan's going to love this one. Yellow Flash said, the further digging reveals that the shooter was a member of the furry community. Unbelievable. We'll look into that. Let's see. Dick says, Jeremy rides to work on his bicycle, in all fairness, with Ryan on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. MC Taz says, good to see he's caught. Hope you lot can keep calm over there, but I'm afraid that escalation is more likely. Keep the faith, people. Project Taco says, we've been letting the mainstream run press and push the fantasy of having a press pass. To Jay's point, we as Americans have the freedom of press. Just a dude on phone says, social media is calling for a revolution, hence them trying to pull us away from it. Jonathan says, Canadian state-funded media, CBC, is smearing Charlie as a far-right activist, and we have politicians and university professors cheering on his passing. Liz says, per Andy No, cartridges from Kirk assassination are confirmed, marked with Antifa phrases, including lyrics from Antifa song. Flag Ninja says, the dude you were yelling at is proof God has a sense of humor. Quentin says, Beardo would eat dog shit cookies because they were made from his favorite ingredient, poop doo-doo cookies. Dr. Callan says, wrapped in a towel, so the drop point was after the shooting. He left it. My concern is he wanted to watch. He was 250 miles away. And Tudor says, even in Romania, people are celebrating Charlie death online in mass media. Terrifying. Well, with that said, we're going to end it. We got Friday Night Tights over on Gary's channel. And then I'll probably be live again later tonight. And if I can, we'll see. I got a lot going on, but I would like to do another Cobra Cast tonight, later tonight, if I can. And then maybe do a gaming stream as to try to just detach. Maybe I can get Jay and Beardo and somebody else, and we can just play some Fortnite and just detach, you know, or something like that. So we'll see. Red Mage for 50 says, I don't like that people are pushing the gun control narrative while in the same sentence condemning this violent act and saying he didn't deserve. It has nothing to do with gun control. Really pissed me off inserting that their narrative. They always do that, unfortunately, and that's the sad reality of it. But thank you, Red Mage. Leon says, shout out to you and for the work you're keeping us, keep doing that. If I could fucking talk, shout out to you and for the work you do to keep us sane. Us Canucks aren't all flaming Trudeau loving figs. Thank you. Appreciate that, Leon. And with that, we will end it. Thank you guys. We did do the Nintendo Direct over on Geeks and Gamers Play this morning. I was pretty happy with the Mario announcements. Everything else was a little meh, but the Mario Galaxy announcements is fantastic. So I'm happy about that. So greatly appreciate it. Oh, Bastion for 5 says, reason Charlie Cook Burke, Amazon has print on demands that can be updated by author on the fly. I worked on the printers myself. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, have a great evening, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. Damn it. Fighting Irish says, on a happy note, happy birthday, Sydney Sweeney. You know what? I'll just because you got that one in right there. If it's Sydney Sweeney's birthday, we can celebrate Sydney Sweeney's birthday. This is how we'll close the show right here. Okay. So happy birthday, Sydney Sweeney. There you go. Have a good day, everyone. And we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.